Welcome to Shout Out to the Exes, the podcast where we turn heartbreak into growth, pain into power, and every what if into a thank you. I'm Heather, and together we're diving into lessons that our past loves have left behind. Hey everyone, it is Heather Perry, your heartbreak survivor, and we are back at it again with an episode of Shout Out to the Exes. This is going to be an interesting episode. It is definitely the phone call heard around the world that we are going to finally be discussing. You have heard it in all of the promos. You have heard it plenty of times from me if you are friends with me and you know me. I mean, it's definitely quite the story. And of course, I had to bring back on my friend Morgan, who kind of helped me figure all of this out and was like with me throughout this entire process. So yeah, we're going to get right to it. So hey, Morgan, welcome back.
I'm excited to hear this voicemail because I haven't even heard it yet.
So yes, we are going to hop right into this crazy phone call. But like before we get into the phone call, I think we definitely need to like talk about the process of what happened, of how we got there, really. So this was in what, I cannot believe it was already last year, I guess. It was last.
Oh my God, it was.
Yeah, I think it was like last. What?
It's been almost a year because I remember I first met him at your birthday dinner.
Yeah, crazy. Which we'll get into all of it. So and then you know what's gonna be really really sad about this whole situation is like she's gonna hear this and she's gonna be like, holy shit, this girl is right, and like the fact that she has receipts and she has like witnesses, it's gonna be insane. But anyway. We'll get right into it. So I want to say it was it was definitely November because it was bowl season. So if you know me, I'm huge sports girly. I don't care what the sport is, I'm there. And so it was bowl season for college football, I remember, because D slid into my DMs. I was not on dating apps because something really bad happened to me in end of October, and I just wasn't into dating anymore. I was like, screw dating, like I'm done. I want nothing to do with it. But my dating apps were still there. I wasn't active on them, but like they were still present. So this man slides into the DMs and says something like, hey, I saw you on Hinge and like I had to reach out. And I was like, okay, like cool, we could do that. So of course, like, what do you immediately do as a girl? Like you go on their profile, their Instagram profile, and I see he's a football coach, and I'm like, okay, like
sold.
Yeah, football coach. But then like I start diving a little bit deeper into what he looks like, and I'm like thinking to myself, and Morgan can attest to this, and like he's not really like who I would normally go for, right? Like he's not.
Not at all.
He's just no. Like he was an O lineman in college. If that gives you any idea, I'm like, and like, listen, big boys need love too. Like, I'm not saying they don't, but like, just not typically like my type. And the reason why I say is because like Morgan has met the guys that I've been with, like Z, for instance. He's like ripped and like not. Anyway, so I'm like, you know what? My parents have been telling me, especially my mom, like maybe you should go for someone who's like not really in your league and like, you know, like just, and I'm like, so you're telling me to date down essentially, which like in a nice way, she's telling me like,
which we've now,
right?
Because they use you to grow and then they like think that they can get hotter, and we're like, it's like that girl Paige from Giggly Squad says, you've tried dating higher, it didn't work, go back to your level, or something along those lines.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what, my mom, let's do it, right? So I'm in Atlanta at the time. I found out homeboy lives in Jacksonville, Alabama. So if you watch the episode with Meg, this is the D we are talking about. Like, this is the whole story. So anyway, he lives in Jacksonville, Alabama, which is about an hour and a half from me. And he's like, let's go on a date. And I was like, okay, like, let's go. But at the time, like, I work for a company that's very busy during this time of year. So I couldn't really like just like drop everything at that moment in time. So then homeboy says, well, why don't you come with me to New Orleans, whoever you guys want to say it, don't come at me. But anyway, like, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know this man. Like, I'm not going on a trip with you. Like, what? And especially like to Nola, like I'm gonna end up in like the swamp or something dead. Like, no. And he's like, but it's for my bowl game. Like, it's a free all expense trip paid. Like, you should just come for a week. And I find out that it's because him and his ex broke up. That's why he had the extra ticket. But whatever. So I'm like, no, like I'm not doing this, but we can go on a date when you get back. So he ends up he goes on the trip. He's texting me the entire time. He's trying to FaceTime me. And I remember, funny enough, like it was I don't know if we met you. I think we did meet you out that night. It was the Friday night that Mel's friend was in town, and we went out to Pastinos, whatever that, like the flatbread place. I don't know what it's called, like where you can like get those customized like little flatbread things. Pastina? I don't know. Anyway.
This is a wine bar next to the Ivy.
Yes, that's where we were. And you got like the little flatbread things, and so good. Don't know the name of the restaurant, sorry. But
I was there.
Yeah, I think we met you after. Like I think maybe you came out
at the Ivy.
Yeah. So we go there, and like he's texting me, sends me $60 for a bottle of wine to have for myself. And I'm like, okay, like this guy's trying really freaking hard. Like, wow, like credit. And then, so he sends me the money, whatever. Next day is my holiday party, and I'm bringing B with me.
I'm gone.
Oh, right. You had the wedding weekend. Right. Yeah. So
I knew I wasn't there for a reason.
So B is coming with me to the holiday party. Obviously, don't tell D. This is getting confusing, I know, but follow along, y'all. I obviously don't tell D that I'm bringing another man with me, as he just sent me $60 for a wine. Granted, I never met this guy, so I don't owe him anything, but like I still kind of feel like shitty. Like, hey, you just sent me money, and I'm going to my holiday party with a different date, but whatever.
You shouldn't feel bad about that.
Yeah, so anyway, so all this happens, whatever. So he ends up coming back, I believe that's Sunday, and he takes me on a date, and I remember it was like close-ish to Christmas, like maybe the week before, so around this week. So literally, I think it's been about a year, exactly. Takes me on a date to an Italian restaurant in Kennesaw, very nice. Then says, let's go shopping, because I'm telling him, like, I haven't bought any Christmas presents for anybody. Like, I'm really stressed out. Takes me shopping, right? His mom calls him. His mom calls him on the date, and he answers it, and he starts telling her about me. And I'm like, okay, this is strange. Like, this is a first date. Like, should I be flattered or terrified? Like, I don't know. Like, you're telling your mother about me on the first date. Like, I don't know. So this all happens. Like, I'm thinking, what?
I thought that was a girl thing.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like everything is great, right? Like everything is perfect. We're all doing great things. And all of a sudden, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, like, he's actually treated me nice. Like, I might actually maybe eventually one day catch feelings for him, because it takes me a while. So this all happens, and then we end up leaving, right? I go home for the holidays. He goes home for the holidays, because as a college football coach, you only get so much time with your family. So he goes home to Virginia. I come home to Florida, and we're texting. He's FaceTiming me when I'm like, hey, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm with my parents right now. So like, I don't know if you really want to FaceTime me, because obviously they're going to be like, hey, like, let's talk, whatever. And he didn't care. FaceTimes me, talks to my dad, talks to my mom, like, very strange, right? Like, that's weird. But this is when, like, the gaslighting begins, y'all. This is it. It's very scary, the process. So he's talking to them, ends up buying me presents for Christmas, then tells me, hey, like, what are you doing for New Year's Eve? And I was like, honestly, like, I'm had a really busy season with work. I'm going to be traveling on the 30th back up to Atlanta. I'm going to be driving. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm really going to want to do anything. None of you guys were doing anything. I don't know if you remember, but like, y'all were like, we're not doing anything. We're staying home. And I was like,
bed by 10.
Yeah. Like, I was like, okay, like, none of my friends are doing anything. So like, I was like, I don't know. I just kind of want to chill. And he's like, well, I bought you a ticket to the Battery with me and my friends. And I was like, okay, like, sure, why not? So I buy a dress, whatever. We exchange gifts on the 31st. He comes over. Mind you, at this point, we haven't even kissed yet, y'all. Like, we have not done anything. So we go out. I meet all of his friends, which fuck them, seriously, because they all lied to you for the story. Meet them all out, hang out. quite honestly, I kind of left him for a little bit and didn't spend my whole night with him because I still was like in that like unsure of like, am I attracted to him even? Like, I don't, or am I just like attracted to him being nice to me?
Didn't you
So,
think you had a VIP section at one point?
yeah, I did. I snuck into someone's VIP section. I do that a lot, guys. I made friends with like these older couple. Like, they were so sweet. They were like in their 50s, and I like love them. And so we ended up having our first kiss at midnight. And like, it was like, I don't know how I felt about it still. Even to that day, I was like, ugh, I don't know.
And I'm
But
still kind of cute.
yeah. And then he came back to my apartment. He spent the night because obviously I'm not going to be like, hey, you have to drive an hour and a half. Like, you just spent 2. We didn't sleep together. We did nothing. Like, we literally just slept. We woke up the next day. I'm still unsure because, again, something traumatic happened to me not even like 2 months prior. I'm not even sure if I'm attracted to this man. So I get up and I remember, I think I texted you. I was like, I don't know how to get this man out of my house. Like, I don't, I don't want him here anymore. So I kind of was like, hey, I have a lot of chores I have to do. Like, I just got back from like being gone for 2.5 weeks. Like, okay, bye. And he's like, you're kicking me out? I was like, yeah, I am actually kicking you out. So he leaves, and I think that like got him into me more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was like shit, like she's not falling for my normal bullshit. Then I think the next weekend was he was going to Nashville. So we hung out Friday night. We went to Texas Roadhouse, which we found out, y'all, in Meg's episode that he took her there as well. He was very original. I wonder how many girls he's taken to Texas Roadhouse in Jacksonville, Alabama. And
how many restaurants are there, though? 4?
yeah, so probably the girls are probably like, how does this guy pull this shit? Because like his ex was very pretty. Like, she was a pretty girl. Like, I'm not going to like, no shade to her looks. Like, she was pretty.
She's your typical little Florida girl.
Yeah, pretty as hell. So I'm like, these waitresses are probably like, how the fuck is this happening? So that, I think like that was the first night like we did anything more than like kiss. And even then I was still like, I don't know. I'm still like so unsure. He goes to Nashville for the coaching convention. He apparently is talking about me the entire time he's there. Like, have these girls like texting me that I met on New Year's, like, he hasn't stopped talking about you. Like, he FaceTimed me like every single night. He did like all the things. But then like I think that's when I started to realize I was kind of catching feelings, was when he posted a photo with another girl on his Instagram story, and I was like, cool story. And my thing is like, I'm not that type of girl. Like, if we're not together and we don't have that conversation that we're going that path, do what the fuck you want. I do not care. Like, go, as long as you're not doing like sex and like having sex with me too, like, I don't give a fuck. Go have fun, live your best life. But anyway, so this all happens, and he ends up coming back from Nashville early, which I was like, holy shit, this man left in Nashville early, which I know you don't feel the same way about Nashville, which we'll get into in that episode, but most people love Nashville and they want to like hang out there, right? So this all happens, and he comes back and we start now dating. So when I mean like we are dating, like I mean not officially dating, but like we're in that process of like, we say we're exclusive with just each other. We're figuring it out if we want to take it to the next step of being in a relationship. So we're going on dates. I'm spending probably Thursday through Monday, because I was working remote Fridays and Mondays. So I would leave after work on Thursday, drive to Jacksonville, Alabama, and spend Thursday night to Monday morning in Jacksonville.
You were gone a lot doing that.
Yeah, a lot. And it's not healthy, guys. Don't do that. Don't be me.
Or
and
me.
Yeah. Like, so I'm like spending my time there, and now this is going on for a while. Comes to my birthday dinner with me, like celebrates with me, does all the things a boyfriend would do. And so come the end of January, so now we've been talking since like beginning of December. Now it's becoming like the end of January, and I kind of bring up the conversation of like, hey, like, where do you kind of see this going, right? And that's when he was just like, I don't know, like, da-da-da-da. And I was just like, okay, that's strange, because we had conversations. We're not on dating apps anymore. We're spending every weekend together. We talk 24/7. Like, I don't get it. Either you know or you don't. You know? So, Yeah. So his family, like he's been talking to my family, I've been talking to his family. So come the end of January, he freaks out and he goes, I just need time to. No, that's not what happened. I get pissed, I leave. And I'm like, okay, I'm not, I leave, I do my thing. I go on to Hinge for the first time in months and I geolocate him because you guys can do that if you don't know that already. Like I don't feel like I'm giving away a secret, so girls don't come at me. Like I feel like if you're stupid enough to not know that, like then you're just an idiot. But you could geolocate someone on Hinge, surprise, and I find out that it said active now. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I just left Jacksonville. I literally just left. So I screenshot it and I sent it off to him.
But he's also
Immediate.
dumb because you have to actually set the setting. If you don't want people to know when you're active, you have to turn it off. So like
Yeah.
he turned the setting off.
Yeah. So I literally sent a screenshot to him and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Calls me. So finally I answer and I'm like, dude, he's like, I swear to God, I wasn't on it. Like, da 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 da. Like, there must be something wrong. Like, I did it. And I was like, no. That's like when people say they're not active on fucking Instagram. Like, there's a green dot next to your name. I could see you're active, like, and you're just not texting me back. Like, you got the text, you got the message, you got, like, you're on it. Don't fucking lie to me.
Had y'all already been to Savannah at this point, or is this later?
No. This was not that time. We're getting there. So this is the end of January. So end of January comes, like, I'm pissed. We decide that it's time to take a week of just like a break from each other, which was like if you already have to take a break, y'all, after 2 months, then you probably should not be with this person. But like, again, we talked about this multiple times. I feel like when you're in it, and you just don't realize how stupid you're being.
Or you just choose to be like, if you're like me, Bob the Builder over here, I can fix them.
Yeah. See, like I view things different like that. Like I like to find people like, and I know we've talked about this like one-on-one. Like I find people who like, if you're close to being where you need to be in life, like I'll be there for you. But like, I can't do all this reconstruction crap. I'm not Dora the fucking Explorer to find your freaking self. Like I can't do it. That's just not me. So, but that's besides. So I'm thinking like, and now mind you, I then find out that during that week that we're taking this break because me and him are like, he's mad. He got mad at me for something. I really don't remember. I ended up leaving and going to Florida for the week. He got mad about something I did. I don't remember. It was something. But he gets mad. He goes off on me the first day I get to Florida. And I'm like, we're not supposed to be talking. Like, we're literally, like, that was the deal. Was like, we're not going to talk for a week.
He got mad at you because you were at the gym.
Maybe that was it.
It was the gym in his shirt.
Oh, well, which is, like, ridiculous because I own, like, I didn't, stupid. But anyway, so, like, I'm in Florida, whatever happens, and he's screaming at me, and I'm just like, whatever. And then that's when I find out that him and his ex had broken up the last week of November.
Wild.
And he had reached out to me the following week. And I wasn't the first girl he reached out to. So you were definitely being a sketchy bug with other girls before you and your ex even had the conversation to break up. But so I find this out and I'm like, holy shit. Like this man is just, I'm a rebound. And like I told him that. And I was like, if I'm a rebound, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, no, that's not it. So we take the week. I come back up that Sunday to Jacksonville. So I drive from Florida back to Jacksonville to have this conversation with him. And I have it written down. Like, I have it written down because I'm like, I've been thinking about what I want to say. And I'm going to get it off my chest. And I'm going to stand my ground and, like, fuck you. And so I read this whole thing to him. And he was like, I don't want to lose you. He was like, I want to try this again. He was like, I really thought about things. And i.e. meant he went out that whole weekend and didn't find anything better. So he said, I don't want to lose a girl because I don't know how to be alone. So we end up getting back together. So at this point, it's like beginning of February. Valentine's Day weekend, I think it'd be nice of me to take him on a trip to Savannah. And so I drop, no lie, probably like $2,000 on this weekend into Savannah. Hotel, take him to Ruth Chris's steakhouse, pay for everything, like show him everything. And Sunday we're driving back
You
I
hard
walk into,
too.
huh?
You hard launched him.
Oh yeah, we did. I posted a picture of him finally on. Oh. So what happens in Savannah? So I missed that. I almost missed that part. Sheesh, that would have been the whole story. So Saturday, he finally posts a picture of me on his Instagram story. But I find out from Meg now that he hid his story from all the girls that he was still Snapchatting and talking to, because she's like, I never saw you on his story. So I'm like, that's freaking, swear to God. So I'm like, that's what girls do. Men don't do that shit unless they're gay. Like, this is just not normal. So I'm just like, okay, like, this is fucking crazy shit. And so I
That
I don't know this obviously until months later. But anyway, so Saturday night, right before we're about to go to Ruth Chris's, I make this reservation. I've been planning this whole trip. Like, this is the weekend we're going to finally become official, I'm thinking. Like, I'm like, he's going to ask me to be his girlfriend. So we go out and we're downstairs in the lobby waiting for the Uber, and I see his face just change. Like, it just like got white. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, is everything okay? Like, I'm thinking family member, like something happened, whatever. And he's like, nothing. And I was like, D, like, I know something's wrong. Just fucking tell me. And he's like, she texted me. And I was like, who texted you? Like, I wasn't even thinking about his ex at this point. Like, not even a thought. And he says, she texted me. And I was like, okay, wow. So I was like, well, what did she say? And it just said, like, can you step away from her for 5 minutes? And I was like, well, okay. He's like, well, what do you want me to do? And I looked at him and I said it straight in the face. I said, I can't tell you what to do because it's not my decision. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, these are your emotions. These are your feelings. Like, if you need to talk to her to get the closure you need, by all means, then have that conversation. But if I tell you what to do, you're going to resent me one way or the other. And I'm not going to do that. So he's like, no, I don't want to talk to her. So he blocks her. Okay, blocks her. Blocks her. So then we go out to dinner. He seems fine. Everything's great. And I asked him, I'm like, are you sure after dinner and everything? I'm like, are you sure you're okay? Because, like, I get that. Like, I had to have some conversations with exes to get the closure I needed. So, like, I wasn't thinking, like, oh, they're going to have a conversation to get back together. Like, they need a conversation to clear the air. So he's like, no, I won. He goes, at the end of the day, I won because I have you and she has no one. His exact words. I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, all I've known about this girl was that she never supported him, never showed up to any of his games, treated him like shit, didn't like his family hated her, like, terrible things about her, which is another red flag, y'all. If a guy is talking that much shit about his ex, he's probably the problem. But, like,
live and learn.
yeah, but that's all I know about this girl is, like, terrible things. So I'm just thinking, like, fuck her too. Yeah, fuck her.
Yeah.
So this all happens, and so Sunday morning at 4 a.m. comes around, and I wake up and I see, like, him texting someone, and I'm like, who the fuck are you texting at 4 a.m.? My sister.
Does he even have a sister?
He does, but that's an unlikely story. And the reason why I know it's an unlikely story because on Sunday I had little Madison, look at this girl's Instagram story, and the song she posted was No Caller ID by Megan Maroney. And if you know that song, it literally talks about getting a random phone call at 4 a.m. and it has no caller ID because it's a guy that she doesn't really want to talk to. So I'm like,
honestly, iconic move on her end.
yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, whatever. I have 4.5 hours to drive home. Like, we're going to talk this out. So we have a conversation. His mom calls. He has me talk to his mom. His mom gets my cell phone number. Like, she literally gets my cell phone number. And I'm like, okay, like, why are you giving, like, he obviously feels something towards me because, like, why would you give me your mom's cell phone number? Like, I feel like that's a big step. So we get back home to Atlanta. I walk upstairs. I see my apartment's completely empty because my lovely ex-roommate decided to move out without telling me. So, like, I walk in, like, I've already had a very emotional, like, stressful fucking weekend. I come home to nothing. So, like, imagine, like, the mindset I'm in. So I just break down and I'm hysterical. Like, I am crying. I'm bawling my eyes out, like, hysterical. And he's like, Heather, what do you need from me? I'm like, I don't know. I have nowhere to live. Like, I'm supposed to be gone in 2 weeks. Like, and I'm like, I'm hysterical. So, he ends up saying, I'll take your stuff. You're going to come stay with me for a while.
Forgot he took your stuff.
So he took like 4 bins of mine with him
Oh shit.
to back to his apartment. So if you know me, you know I'm the type of person like text me when you get home, call me when you get home. Like, I don't care who you are. I am going to ask you to tell me when you get home because I watch a lot of Law and Order SVU and you could be dead in a ditch. So I tell him that. Hour and a half passes and I call you and I'm telling you that everything that happened in Savannah. And I'm telling you, I'm like, I haven't heard from him yet though. But I'm like, maybe he stopped and got food. He's a big boy. He might get hungry. So like he stops, I don't know. But now it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I still have not heard from him. And I'm calling him, I'm texting him, nothing. Finally, I think it was like 3.5 hours, 4 hours to when he finally, like, I heard from him and it was a text being like, sheesh, I just got home, chill out. It took you 4.5 hours to go an hour and a half? I have questions. So, of course I have questions. So I'm calling, still no answer. So I said, fuck this guy. I'm getting in my fucking car. So I get in my car and I start driving to Jacksonville, Alabama. Maybe a little crazy, yes. But like, one, you had a lot of my shit. And 2, I had to know the truth. So I drive to Jacksonville, Alabama. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to my friend Lauren. And I'm like trying to figure this shit out. Get pulled over, by the way, guys, on my way there.
I'm like, do I need to come follow you so you don't like catch a charge?
Yeah. I got pulled over in Jacksonville, Alabama, and I literally am like telling this man that I'm going to find out that my man's cheating on me, and he goes, honey, just go. It's fine. Like, he felt so bad. He was just like, go. He probably knew the fucker. So I get there, and his car is not in his driveway. So I pick up the phone, and I say, you're a fucking liar. Like, you better get home. I need my stuff. And I left that as a voicemail because, of course, he didn't answer. Still no response. So I text his mom. And I said, when your son is done with her, tell your son I need my shit back. And so, yeah.
Crazy too. And I'm like, ugh.
And that was crazy. I shouldn't have done that. But like,
no, it wasn't crazy though. I die on that hill. I don't think that.
Yeah. But I feel like in the moment, should I have thought that through a little bit more and texted this woman at 1 a.m. our time because it is like the time difference in Alabama. But like, I was so heated. Like, I just dropped $2,000 on your motherfucking son, and this is what he's doing to me. And I knew where he was. Like, I'm not stupid. So
die on that hill. If you don't want me texting your mom, if you're gonna do crazy ass shit and do something that's horrible to me, don't give me your mom's number. I'm gonna text her.
Yeah. I don't know. It was crazy. So finally, I get in touch with him. He calls me. He's hysterically crying. Oh my God, I'm so broke. And I'm thinking like he ran out of fucking money. That's what I'm thinking, y'all. Like, I'm thinking this man ran out of money and he's stuck on the side of the road. I literally was like, wait, do you need me to send you money? And he said, no. Like, I went to her house and I was going to go inside, but I decided not to. So I pulled into a parking lot and called her. Found out that was a lie. So I was like, okay, and what happened? And he's like, well, basically she told me I'm a terrible person for like posting you on social media and how stupid she looks because it happened so quickly and da-da-da-da. And I'm a terrible human and the whole thing that a girl does to make a guy feel like shit. And I'm believing it. I'm like, well, you're not a bad person. Like, people move on all the time. Like, it happens, da-da-da. I was like, just get back here, come home, and let's talk about it. And he's like, I just don't know what to do, da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, I'm not driving back. So, like, you're going to come here. We're going to talk. So, finally, he gets back, and we talk. And he's like, I just don't know if I should be with anybody right now. Like, I think I need to figure shit out, blah, 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 blah. Like, the whole bullshit excuse. Like, it's not you, it's me. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I was like, well, I can't drive now. Like, it's at this point, it's 3 a.m. Like, I'm fucking exhausted. So 4 a.m. my time, 3 a.m. in Alabama. And I was like, I'm exhausted. I can't drive home right now. Like, let's just let it go. Like, we'll talk in the morning.
So you
So I
also
wait.
don't feel good either.
Yeah, so I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. Like my stomach was hurting so bad. I go into the bathroom. I start vomiting and like I'm bleeding because I'm vomiting so much. And I'm like, something's really wrong. He's like, you're just being fucking dramatic. And I was like, no, no, like trust me when I say like I don't want to be here anymore. Like I want to go home.
Yeah.
I like something's wrong. So he's like, okay, well then we have to take you to the hospital. So I'm like, okay. So he takes me to the hospital in like the middle of fucking nowhere, y'all. Like I have no idea where the fuck I am. Like there's no Uber, there's no Lyft, there's nothing. Drops me off like a fucking stray dog and says, okay, bye. I gotta go to work.
Yeah, it's like the baby at the fire station. I remember you calling me and telling me that. I was so pissed off that if I had had that man's number, I would have, oh my God, I would have laid into him because I was about to drive to Alabama to come get you because I'm like, how are you going to get home at this
Yeah.
point? You're now straight, you're upset about all of this in general. Now you're unwell in a hospital where you don't know anybody, you have nobody near you. Your family is 2 states away. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
So they start running all these tests. They tell me like, listen, like there is something going on. Like you need to go see your doctors at home. And I was like, okay, like I hear you. Like I need to go to the doctors. Like clearly there's something wrong, but like I'm not gonna stay here and get tested here. I don't know these doctors. I don't. First of all, the homeless people from the street, which like I feel bad for them, but I'm like that's who I'm sharing a room with, and like you're just like leaving me there. So I'm like terrified. I call him and I'm like, hey, like I'm ready to like go back to my car, but like I can't drive yet, so I'm gonna have to stay with you for one more night. Which I'm like, fuck me, I don't want to do this, but like I'm literally have no choice at this point.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, well I can't pick you up till 5, and I was like, are you kidding me? It's 10 a.m. Like, what do you want me to do? Sit at the hospital? He's like, well you could figure it out. So I'm again no Uber, no Lyft. Like we're in the middle of nowhere. I tried to call a taxi service. They like waited an hour, no one showed up, so I ended up like walking to the CVS because my phone's dead. I dropped like $40 on a charger, walked to the police station. I'm like, hey guys, like I really don't know where else to go. Like and I look a wreck, like I look ridiculous. I'm so embarrassed. It was terrible time. Like it was like a low, probably like my all-time low.
Yeah, it was bad.
Finally the police find me a ride. I get back to his apartment and I don't really talk to him much, but like we spend the night together. I go home the next day and I get my stuff and I'm like, I'm done. He's like, well, so now I'm moving out because of medical reasons. I have to go back to Florida. And he was like, listen, whatever you and your dad can't grab, don't worry. Because at this point we ended things and I was like, you know what? We're not supposed to be like, we're done. Like I was cool with it. So he ends up saying to me like, hey, I know your dad and you are moving everything out by yourselves. Whatever you guys can't grab, I'll come get it because he was buying my washer and dryer anyway. I'll hold for you and you can come back up and get it when you're ready. So I'm like, oh, well, that's nice of him. Like we ended things cool and I'd rather it be like that. Because honestly, he worked in the sports world. Like I knew what I was doing. I wasn't going to like burn that bridge. So like I'm not trying to lie here. So this all happens and I think it was March. It was March and I said, hey, like I'm ready to come get my stuff because I wanted it to just be done. Like he was still kind of interacting with me. He was following me and unfollowing me and following me and unfollowing me and liking a photo, then unliking. And it was just like, it was too much back and forth for me. So the day before I'm about to go to Jacksonville to pick up my shit, I post a picture in the gym and I'm wearing a Jack State shirt. And the reason why I'm wearing a Jack State shirt is because I literally was just moving back to Florida. Like I hadn't unpacked anything. So I had what I had and most of my shit was his shirts. And I posted a picture with the song, the Weekend song. I can't think of it, what it is, but I post it and he like flips out. I cannot believe you're posting a picture of that song with that shirt and da 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 da. And I was like, what? I was like, it's a fucking t-shirt and a song, bro. Like, and you, whatever. So this all happens, and he's like, I just don't think it's a good idea for you to come anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I'm still coming. Like, I need my shit. So I'm still go up. I grab my shit. I asked him I'm like, and I asked him this, girls, because I'm told you I am a girl's girl. I said, hey, are you talking to anybody or dating anybody? Because if you are, I'll get a hotel. If not, can I crash on your couch and like save money, you know? And he goes, no, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not dating anybody. So the couch is yours. I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, so I drive up. He takes me out to dinner. I ask again about his ex. I'm like, so are you and Kay talking to each other? Like, are y'all still together or whatever? He's like, no. Like, and quite honestly, it's none of your business. I'm like, fair. But I was like, I just want to know like where you guys are at, like if you're together or not. He says no. Right, yeah. So he says no. She has nothing to do with us. I said, okay. Get back to his apartment. And I'm thinking to myself, what?
Said, oh, but she does.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself straight up, like, this is honest. I'm going to be living with my parents for a while, which means I am not going to be able to have that kind of fun for a while. So why not? I'm here. I've been drinking a little. Like, why not have some fun? So we do 3 times. 3 times. I want to make that clear because when you hear this phone call. So I think in the phone call, though, I only said twice, but it was definitely 3. So I had no reason to lie about it. Cause like I'm being honest, like I don't live here anymore. I fucking live in Florida. So like, why would I want to be with this man? So that all happens. I leave. I write him a nice note and say like, whatever. And let bygones be bygones. I leave the next day. The following day, I call Morgan. And I say, hey, something just doesn't feel right. Like, something feels off about what happened. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know, but I feel like he's talking to Kay again, and he's just not telling me. And she goes, well, what do you feel you need to do? I said, I think I need to reach out to her. Like, I feel like she needs to know.
Oh, this is my favorite part.
Yeah, so we're finally getting to the phone call, y'all, the one that everyone's been waiting for. So Morgan ends up...
I go on Facebook. I already got blocked on Instagram.
Yeah, she blocked all my friends on Instagram already. She blocked me, so there's no way of me contacting her.
Yes, because I was looking at Instagram stories, and then I guess she figured it out. And then, so I okay, I'm going to go to Facebook. I was like, there's been worse things. The last episode I was here, we figured out, I got that hey girly DM from Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's not even that bad.
Yeah, so I think you said something along the lines like, hey, like, I know who you are. You may not know me, but I think you need to talk to my friend Heather. Something like along those lines.
Yeah, basically was like, you don't know me, but like, I'm really good friends with Heather. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know enough. I was like, this is what I know. Kind of told her what I knew. And then was like, do what you will with this information. I would reach out to her if you want to get some more insight. I'm going to leave it to y'all. And then she responded really fast too.
Yeah, and she called me, and I remember I had Morgan on a 3-way call. Morgan was listening to the whole thing because I wanted, like, a witness to this. Because, like, when I tell you, like, no longer interested, like, who's going to date someone 8 hours away, y'all? Like, it's just, I'm too old for that at this point in my life. Like, I don't want to do it. So I tell her, I'm like, hey. And I remember the conversation clear. I was like, hey, I'm not sure what's going on, but I felt like you needed to know. I was oops, whatever. I was with D.
Not the name slip.
Yep, I was with D on Tuesday night, and we did sleep together, and I just felt that you should know. She goes, are you, in her exact words, are you fucking kidding me? I said, no, not actually. Like, I'm being honest. And she goes, well, that's crazy because he was inside of me on Monday night. And I was like, oh.
The way my jaw dropped when I heard that shit too. I was fuck.
And then I was just like, okay, well, I'm just telling you. And she was like, well, what? She's like, I'm at work right now, so I can't really talk. But can you like text me any receipt that you have? So of course I do. Like, I text her when I was texting him saying like, hey, I'm an hour out. What do you want me to do? And he's like, yeah, you can come grab my keys, like everything, right? And so she's like, okay, like, I think she's maybe starting to believe me, but also, again, as a female, we do stupid shit when we're in love. So She comes up with the idea, y'all. She came up with the idea, like, let's catch him tonight. Like, when he is coming over to bring me a camera, which he was going to give me that camera, but because he had bought it for her for the Christmas before, and I didn't want it, so he was going to give it to me. But he's finally bringing it over to her house to give it to her. And he says, and she goes, well, I'll call you when he gets here once I put the camera away, because she was smart. She's like, I'm gonna get my fucking camera, and she was like, I'm gonna put the camera away and then I'm gonna call you. So that's where we're at with that. And then so we're gonna take a listen to this phone call, y'all, and y'all can do with it as you please.
Because I haven't even heard this.
But this is the call that changed everything. So here we go.
I'm sitting here with and just to start off with the most recent allegation, he's saying you guys did not have sex Tuesday.
You're literally sitting here saying we had sex.
Twice. Yes, we did.
Is that right?
Yes.
You tried to have sex with me, and I told you I didn't want to have sex with you.
No, you did not. You did not.
Is that right?
You said you're bad. You said.
Prove it.
How?
Did I have sex with you?
Yes, you did. I can actually go to the doctor right now if you want me to and get a swab, and I can guarantee you they're gonna find your DNA.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will. I mean, she saw the text, dude, so she knows what it implied.
What did that say?
That was a great way to end it.
Hey, you still okay to come Tuesday? You said, hey, and yes, just need to give me a time. You should have fucking told me she was coming over anyways, because you were coming inside me Monday night, so don't even say anything. She said, I'm going to try and leave the latest at 10, so like for your time. You remember all this, it's okay. The couch available? You can stay here, yes. I should have known that. And that shouldn't have happened. Because if a man was sitting on my couch, you would have burned the building down. Anyways, she said she was an hour away at 4:30. You were texting me while she was there. Hey, the next morning, hey, I made it home. Thank you for last night. It was a nice way to say bye for now. What was nice? What was nice?
You tell me.
I'm glad you made it home safe. Did you get everything? Yes, I did. I left some stuff for you. She wrote you a nice letter, apparently, and some toilet paper. And the Girl Scout cookies. That was so nice of her. Okay, sounds good.
Girl Scout cookies.
You'll see when you make it home. But again, thank you. Remember, I'm always here for you. What you did was very kind. I really appreciate you. So how do I know that you didn't fuck her?
Because he did. You did twice.
You're telling me I did not fucking try to fuck you. I did not want to
Derek,
fuck
look
you.
at me in the eyes.
I did not fuck her.
He did.
Okay, Heather, wait 1 second. I don't care if you... Heather...
She put me on mute at this point, y'all, to like talk to him.
No, they went away.
I don't care if you... Listen, Derek, look at me in the eyes. Because you're freaking out, and like, I'm the more calm one. And like...
Your defense, like, being
Just give me a second. Yeah. Look me in the eyes, I deserve it. It doesn't matter if you fucked her or not. What's done has been done. You know deep down. Look at me.
She hung up at this point, calls back.
I'm just gonna be
Not
for a
really
second,
good
but
at
it's not that you're not missing anything. I just need a minute.
No, that's fine. I just wanted, like I said, say my piece, and y'all can have your conversation. That's fine.
Okay, just give me like 2 seconds.
That's good. You know what you did. You know what we did Tuesday night. For you to sit here and lie to her is bullshit. We've compared notes. We know you lied about everything, and you were active on the dating apps today. I screen recorded that shit and sent it to her because she deserved better. You told me that she was a bad person. You told me she was crazy. She put in no effort. It was all lies. All you've done, Derek, is basically take girls and substitute them into your game. We're not your fucking athletes. When the first string comes out, you can't just pull in second and third string. And she's not the only girl I've talked to. You've been doing this to multiple girls since December, and it's bullshit. It is not fair. You talked about how she told you you were a bad person, and I defended you. You are a bad person. You're a terrible person for what you did. And when you go home, look at yourself in the fucking mirror and fix yourself. Because
Did you tell? We didn't stop here, and I didn't come to your truck, and you saw me in person after you dropped her off after Savannah? Did you tell her you drove by my apartment and you just called me on the phone?
Yeah, I did.
So that's a lie, Derek. Like, you lied to everybody. You lied to everybody, and you hurt me. I don't give a fuck if you wanted to use me as a rebound. Be upfront about it and tell me. Don't tell me that you used me to get back together with her.
And that you wanted to marry her?
Yeah, deny. Kat, if you need me to go to the doctor tomorrow, I'm more than welcome to go for you.
No, I didn't fucking have sex with her. I denied her.
No, he did not.
He tried over and over to have sex with me.
Oh my god, dude. What do I have? What do I?
Did you ever use a condom?
No.
Did he finish it?
Yes. Every time. Huh?
Are you on birth control?
Yes. And I want to point out too, there's no reason to lie anymore. She knows you're lying. I know you're lying. This isn't the first time you've done this to her either, which is completely shitty of you.
You're telling me you're sitting here
I
and you're trying to lie or fucking do the same shit?
No, I swear to God, on every single family member that I have, on my grandmother, what we did Tuesday night. I have no reason to lie for this, because guess what? I don't want you back.
Look me in the eyes.
I don't want you back, so what's the reason to lie? Hung up. This is the best part, y'all. Genuinely, are gonna try to lie about this. You also told me that you never went on a date with someone before me, and you did. I have proof of that too, by the way. So you realize that all of this stuff is adding up, and you're still trying to defend yourself. If you are a man, like you say you are, grow some fucking balls and just tell the truth. At this point, we all know what the truth is. So just tell it.
You think that I'm hiding something?
I know you are. I know you are.
It's actually she's there, not. What's done is done. But I know it's fucking truth.
And why did you tell me on Tuesday that you and hadn't talked and that you had nothing to do with her anymore? And that
You don't deserve to know any of that shit.
I deserve when your dick is in my vagina. Yes, I fucking do. Yes, I do. Absolutely. She hung up at that point, y'all, and I said, bitch, because I felt like it is my business. I feel like it's every female's business when that's happening.
Yeah.
And that was the phone call, y'all. That was, and the thing was, the sad part is she ended up getting back together with him, which was
Yeah. And blocking all of us.
yeah. And my thing is and now they broke up, obviously, because that was never going to work. And now he's dating someone who literally looks like me and her, had a baby and created this woman. And I feel bad for her because the girl that he's dating lives in BFE, Alabama, and probably has no idea what she's gotten herself into. And he probably shelters her so much because I think she's only 22, 23 as well. She's a baby. And I genuinely feel bad for her because this man. He's 29.
Ugh.
This man has not changed. He has not changed, y'all. And the reason being is I'm not saying people can't change, but I'm saying he never took the time to work on himself to change.
He was never single.
No. So, this shit's crazy. I wish I could tell you I can make my life up, but I can't make my fucking life up. And this was since that, which happened in March, I have not dated a man since because that 3-month time period fucked with my head so much, more so than when Z was living with me in Savannah and slept with 5 girls while coming home to me, because he was always upfront about what he was. He never claimed to be a good person. He was like, I'm a fucking asshole and I know I am, and whether you handle it or not, that's on you. So I respected him more for that. But this 3-month situation fucked with my head so much more than and I was fucking married, y'all. I was fucking married. And
Yo, them situations just get to you.
yeah, bing. So I think what really fucked with me in that situation was it brought back a lot of what my ex-husband's family did to me, consistently telling me I'm not enough. And I think that was the biggest problem for me, and that's what I'm still struggling with now, is I thought I worked through all of that, but then when that situation happened, it was wow, I'm still not good enough, and it's been 4 years. So that's where I'm kind of at now, working through that process. But yeah, crazy shit, y'all. That was I feel like this was a story that had to be told because you can't make this shit up.
No, literally. It was I can't wait to get into the C episode because I swear there's just something about these damn small towns.
Yeah, but crazy. Well, thank you for walking this through with me, y'all. This was a rough one, but it was the phone call that everybody's been hearing about, so it had to happen. But thank you guys so much for joining again for another week of Shout Out to the Exes. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you have a story, man or woman, please slide into the DMs. That's right, I said DMs. I know we've been making fun of those a lot. And let us know if you would like to be a guest. See you next week. Bye.